Hi everyone, welcome to the National Support Session. This National Support Session is particularly for Assignment 2. So without wasting any time, let's get into it. The first thing that I would like to go over maybe is the assignment, or actually before I even go to the assignment, maybe let me go to the technicalities, all right? So if you are within your module, entrepreneurship, and you scroll down, you will see what they call the assessment submission tabs. The first one is the academic honesty declaration. This one, you know that you had to submit for every single module that you take. So if you are that you take, losing my train of thought. Okay, if you're new to this module, then maybe this is information to you, but those of you who have submitted assignments before should already know all about the academic honesty declaration. Filling in this test will allow you to then be able to submit your links. So in terms of where to find your assessment, you can just click on that, and then you click on the link that says find your assignment. And because you're a student, your module should already be appearing. If you are not a student like myself, then your module will not appear directly or automatically. I have to search for it. And remember, when you search, it is always with the W meaning distance. So you will go to 2024, and here is your assignment 2. And then after you found your assignment, you completed it, etc., then we've got here the submission links. Remember, they say that when submitting your assessment files, you are doing so with full cognizance of the academic honesty declaration that you read and accepted. It is a test over here that talks all about academic integrity and the fact that you have conducted yourself in an honest manner when completing your assignment. And then that's the link. And then should you have a take-home assessment or a take-home exam, this would be the link. However, we know that we are going to be writing our exam on campus, so that maybe is not relevant for us. And then I think once we've discovered or finalized, then we can go ahead and go to the assignment. I will not go through the instructions. You should already know this by now. You should have already submitted and filled in the cover page. We know that there's a referencing rubric, but one thing I must let you guys know, and maybe this I would need to write down. Where can I write this down? Let me create a whole nother new document, and then assignment 2 insights or pre-insights, and let's call it pre-assessment 2, assignment 2, let's call it, assignment 2, pre-assignment 2 insights, pre-assignment 2. So number 1 is that with regards to referencing, I have already given you assignment 1 was for developmental purposes. With assignment 2, you will be fully liable for plagiarism. So you guys will know that plagiarism, you guys will know that I sent, for those that, plagiarized, I would have said something like, hey, please note that this is a warning. You would have gotten a -5, you would have gotten a -10%, and you would have been flagged for plagiarism, etc. So now, because we are in assignment 2, you will be fully liable for any plagiarism. So you can get flagged. You can and will get flagged for plagiarism. Okay, so then be careful, please. Minor errors would be 5%, and major errors you get. What's happening? What's happening? Am I not able to edit? Read only. Ah, this is read only. Okay, okay, okay. I wish it wasn't. File. How do you edit? Okay, I don't know how I'm gonna be able to edit. Let me see. Downloads. Let me see my downloads. Nope. Okay. Not working. All right. 5% and 10% here. You know me, I like to color code and everything. And then assignment instructions: conduct further research, please. Prescribed text reading, recommended reading, and additional reading. And I like this one. I think it's worth noting that that's exactly what you should do, that you should conduct further research when it comes to your assignment. And then, yeah, students are required to make minimum use of 2 scientific academic journals in their responses. And then writing requirements: this is an essay. And please, with regards to an essay, please go through what they call an essay structure. This includes things such as paragraphs. Start, and maybe let me start with this one. Start every question on a new page. Paragraphs, new ideas equals new paragraphs. For instance, if we're talking about the micro, the macro, the business environment, for instance, if you're talking about the micro and the macro, let's say micro environment, market environment, and the macroeconomic environment. And it's actually the microeconomic environment. So yeah, if that's what you're doing, for instance, this would be a new paragraph, right? And the same would go for market environment as well as then the macro environment. Okay, referencing requirements: the reference rubric will be used. The Harvard style must be used. And by the Harvard style, we mean the Harvard style, where it is the Harvard style adapted for the IIE. Everybody should know this by now. Okay, that's actually number 4. And then referencing, yes, that's what I've just done. And oh yes, referencing requirements: Harvard style must be used. The submission must be submitted through SafeAssign. If you do not do this, you are in contravention of plagiarism. So please make sure that you do go through SafeAssign. If you try to avoid SafeAssign, you are in contravention of plagiarism. And then word count limit. For me, like I always say, I'm much more interested in whether or not you can answer the question. I know I'm corrupt for doing this. However, at first year level, it is rather pertinent for me to know that you, therefore, it's yeah, I'd rather you focus on writing or giving me the right question rather than the right amount of words. Yeah, like shoot me for this one, report me if you want. But yeah, for me, it's really about the quality rather than the quantity. So I really don't even look at the word count. I just literally go ahead and mark. And then assignment topic: Tumi. We know the Tumi story. a student at a higher education institution who harnessed her entrepreneurial spirit to create an innovative, environmentally conscious car wash idea. So it says here that she did some market research. So Dumi conducted thorough market research to understand customer preferences and eco-conscious trends. And then she developed a comprehensive business plan. If you remember the business plan, that's in Unit 5. And then sustainable practices. Dumi's commitment to environmental sustainability aligned with modern entrepreneurial values, appealing to conscious consumers and enhancing brand reputation. So she's really within the times. She is not wasting. She is saving and saving the planet while pursuing her business. And then operational efficiency by using water efficient methods, biodegradable products. Dumi ensured that EcoShine Auto Care operated efficiently while minimizing its ecological footprint. Again, they're trying to be this economically conscious and economically friendly company. And then she's got a consumer-centric focus where she prioritizes customer satisfaction. See, this is me, this is marketing. If you know anything about marketing, you know that this is life of bio, and she does this by offering convenient scheduling, exceptional service, and personalized options to cater to varying needs. So yeah, they tell you what the business here in Jan. We love it. Yeah, Dumi's journey from a student to a successful eco entrepreneur with EcoShine Auto Care exemplifies how a well-conceived idea coupled with a strong focus on sustainability and entrepreneurial requirements can lead to impactful and profitable ventures that resonate with both customer and the environment. So the assignment is assist Dumi by drafting a report that considers various aspects of EcoShine Auto Care. Write a report of between 1,800 to 2,300 words in which you address the following topics for Dumi. And you know what? I'm going to copy this and go put it in my Word document simply because I can't make changes to that document. So I'm going to say assignment, and then I'm going to say here. And then, yeah, so let's also put this in a page break, and let's make this assignment bold. I'm going to make it bold, and then I'm also going to update heading 1 and make it heading 1. And if you know anything about heading 1, if you go to the view and navigation pane, you can see already that it's kind of showing me the order of the document. If you know anything about me, you know I love me a navigation pane. All right, so assist me by drafting a report, and this is what you should address. So one of the things that I would do, for instance, I would say this is question 1, because remember, you're trying to make things easier for yourself, and then I would make every bullet point question, basically. So I will say question 2. Question 3. Question 4. Yeah. I think that's right. Did I copy right? What's going on? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then lastly is describe. This is supposed to be a question. So, nope, undo. I don't know what happened there with the bullet point. Was it the way I copied? Let's see. Nope, Angazi. Okay. Question 5. So then normally what I do is assignment, I'll put this bold again, and then I'll make it maybe heading 2, update heading 2, and then I'll make all the questions heading 2. Sorry, heading 2, heading 2. And that's actually reactivate our navigation pane, yes. So you see question 2, I already made a mistake there. It's heading 2, not heading 1. And then, yeah, question 5 also heading 2. Sorry, it's bothering me that this thing is not. Okay, let's do this and then let's take it back. Yeah. But you see, now it's not aligned with this thing. Ish. The technology. Okay. Let me stop. I'll never end. Okay. Question number 1. All right. Question 1. Discuss the importance of the business plan. Business plan, like we said, it's learning unit 5. Right? We already know that. And outline the relevant stakeholders. And so you see, the first thing I see is, and maybe let me put it all in green, the importance of the business plan, right? And then the relevant stakeholders. So you see that there's 2 elements to this question. So relevant stakeholders to a business plan, and then provide examples. They even make it clear to you that you should provide examples relevant to Dumi's venture to support your discussion. So again, business plan, it's learning unit 5. We know this by now. And if we look at the learning outcomes, the purpose, here's the purpose of the business plan. That's learning outcome 1, and describe the stakeholders of a business plan. That's learning outcome 2. So if we just quickly check the purpose, you know, they say that it's the blueprint and of the business, and it's a meticulous route, a detailed document stipulating how will you address your business plan, etc. So that's what they mean. And if you look at the business plan, they say that blueprint, flexible planning document, right? That's the blueprint there, and that's the purpose and principles of the business plan. Then learning outcome 2, the stakeholders. So when it comes to the stakeholders, these are the stakeholders of the business plan. So in other words, the people that have a vested interest in your business plan, it's these people. So of course you're going to list them, and of course you're going to explain them, and then of course you're going to provide an example and an additional example if you're trying to do extra. So in fact, that's one thing I should have also opened up for this particular discussion. And let me open it up. My tier method. So with regards to the tier method, I have already discussed it in full, and I know by now you guys should know how to use it. So I'm just going to open it up for reference sake. Like I said, you're going to list the theory. So by listing the theory, for instance, if we're talking about, the stakeholders, right? You're going to say, these are the stakeholders. You're going to list them. And then after that, you are going to explain what they mean. So you're going to say, this is what a commercial bank is. This is what a financial entity is. This is what a major supplier is. And then you're going to provide us examples, right? An example of a bank that Dumi could use. And remember, always to make it relevant to the case study. And I think that's step number 3 of the tier method. Provide an example as per the question or the case study. In this case, we've got a case study of what Dumi's ecosystem business, right? And yeah, so you're going to provide an example and say maybe a bank could be Standard Bank or a FNB, who knows, major supplier. If she's an eco-friendly shop, who are her suppliers? Go ahead and do that research and say, if you were a eco-friendly car wash, for instance, who would your suppliers be? And don't forget to reference your answers. And then, yeah, then you would make those examples. And again, if you want to go the extra mile, you will then provide an additional resource. So what I would also then put here in our insights is our pre-assignment insights is the fact that, and I want to do heading, title. Yes, there you go. All right. So what I would then say is in that last, sorry, I was trying to explain this. Oh, I was actually trying to say that one of the things that I would also incorporate into the insights is how to answer a theory question using the tier method. So let's go back to our assignment, and no, we don't want the assignment. We want the pre-assignment insights. Actually, let me do this. Let me go ahead and make that heading 1 so that it also pops up here, right? And then I'm gonna say number 6, how to use the tier method. And let me do this rather. Okay, so question number 2 in our assignment then says, explain the importance of developing a business model. Business model, let's see if we can find it here. Stakeholders, the business model. Explain what a business model should cover. And you can see here in our question for the assignment, it's literally asking us for that, the importance of developing this business model. So let's go check. Perhaps we might have the answer in these slides, perhaps not. And guys, I please made the mistake of making these slides available. I, not in the capacity of my as a lecturer, but in my capacity as the head of management studies, I always advocated that students should get notes until this past assignment, when you guys basically only used my notes as your references. That was so appalling to me and so disturbing and very, very disappointing. So then you will know that I'm no longer making notes available just so that, because I need to force you guys to go and use the textbook. Guys, my notes are just that, it's just notes. Okay, so let me write there as another insight. And maybe I should actually start putting these on headings. Number 1, insight, textbook. Let's say prescribed. Always refer to the prescribed textbook. Lecturer notes are not to be used for referencing. And this actually, let me fix it. Then I'm going to make this bold, and then I'm going to make it heading 2 so that they can start popping up there. And isn't it 7? Did we not? Yeah, so update. I need to update heading 2. And I hope also as I'm working on this document, it also kind of shows you how to interact with what you call it, your Word document. So let me go ahead and make everything heading 2, essay structure, heading 2, conduct further research. Let me make that a heading, and then make that heading 2. And then you can see already that it starts making your document so much nicer. Like your document looks cute. There's nothing that I love more than seeing a, what do you call it here? Okay, I'm losing my train of thought. Yeah, basically a good structure here. So then, yeah, my only problem is that assignment and questions are now putting auto numbering, which we can just remove because we won't need them for this purpose. They are already numbered. Okay, that's my other insight. Prescribed textbook, please do not rely on the notes. So we were trying to see the importance of the business model, and yeah, why is the business model so important? Here it is. Firstly, to create value for customers, and secondly, it contributes to the efficiency. So of course, you're going to list that. You're going to go according to the tier method. So in the tier method, you're going to list there are 2 descriptions, or 2 uses, or 2 importance, 2 important reasons, or reasons of importance of the business model. Hey, my English is escaping me. Okay, then you're going to list them, then you're going to explain them. After you explain them, and then you're going to give us an example, and again, according to the textbook or the case study provided, my bad, and then provide an additional resource. Please don't forget. So we were on question 2, now we are on question 3. And let me do this actually, because remember I said every question must be on a new page so that you can see exactly what I mean. So insert page break. Every time you have a question, you must just go there to the question and say insert page break. So you can see there at the top, insert page break. Okay, if you're at home, you just press on insert and then again you say page break. And we all know that after the questions, as a matter of fact, we've got insert page break, our reference list. And this reference list would also be maybe heading 1 or heading 2, depending. Because if it was an assignment, for instance, and it wasn't this document of mine, I would have made it heading 1, but nonetheless, let's make it heading 2, and then we just remove the numbering there. And because everything like question 1, question 5, I've put them in capital letters, I would also even do the same with the reference list heading, reference list. And again, guys, I'm just doing this so that you guys can also see how you play around with a document or Word document. So I'm not, I hope you see the value in this. So we're not just covering the assignment content, but everything else that pertains to an assignment. I mean, you would be setting up your questions as such in your assignment anyway. So hence, I am doing it in the way that I'm doing it. And then question 3, describe the legal requirements and labor legislation that is relevant to Tumi's entrepreneurial venture. So here's legal requirements and labor legislation, again referring to 2 things. And if we can see where that is, setting up the business, probably chances are they are here. So here are the legal requirements, right? And what else did we see in our question? The labor legislation. So let's see, is there a separate learning outcome for labor legislation? Chances are it's not, but here we go with our legal requirements, and that is learning outcome 2. So if we go to the legal requirements, we will see that the duties and legal requirements that apply, and the question is actually saying what? Describe. So that means, again, you would have to use your tier method. So let me actually even copy this tier method, and then I'm going to put it there in question 3, all right? And maybe let me take out the numbering and just put it in bullet form. So what are the legal requirements? You will list each one, right? And then you will explain it in your own words. And then you will provide an example for every single one that you have listed, and then provide an additional resource. Guys, I've seen people who just maybe stop at the explanation. You really, really need to make sure that you do all the steps of the tier method, especially if you want to pass, but not only pass, but pass with very, very good marks. And then question 4, or let's say we were looking at the legal requirements actually. So the duties and legal requirements that apply should include the following. So you would go ahead and discuss that, and that the business must be registered with the different registration bodies. They talk about full legal capacity, the type of economic activity, naming the business, registration of patents, trademarks, etc., testing of your product, and licensing of your product. And then you must also be registered with SARS, and then unemployment insurance, workmen's compensation, registration with the local authority, and then general industrial and commercial legislation if it is relevant to you. So there is quite a lot to discuss there. Hence the question makes sense. So let's go back to my document. So that would be question 3, question 4, and again with every question 4. And in fact, I'm going to do this probably for every single question. We said we wanted bullets. Right. Question 3, we've already done it. Question 4, Tumi is planning to expand the business to another city. Assist Tumi by analyzing the factors for setting up the business functions of her car wash. And for me, all I see is setting up of the business functions. Alright, guys, by now we know the business functions, right? And now it's just the business functions in terms of setting them up. So we all know. Let's go though, because you never know. Let's see, business functions, process of establishing a business, setting up factors related to the business functions. So we see the learning outcome 6. Again, we know the business factors, guys, or the business functions by now, and all we are doing is we are describing them and describing the fact that they have to be set up. So if labor, for instance, has to be set up, right? Then what you will do is you will say that you need people that are going to work for you, and in order for them to work for you, you need to make sure you put your contracts in place, etc. So if we check these business functions, they talk about marketing, public relations, information and record keeping, right? Finance, human resources, which is what the example that I made, operations and general management. So you will take each and every one, again, going through the tier method, which means number one, you will explain each and every one, list each and every one, and then explain each and every one, and then provide an example, as well as then an additional example or a resource that you can bring into play to get extra marks. And then last question, describe the entrepreneurial skills, competencies, and knowledge to successfully, I think they meant successfully here, to successfully manage and lead groups of employees. That is obviously learning outcome 7. So let's see the entrepreneurial skills, management competencies, and knowledge. This is the question that is talked about, or the learning outcome. And we can see we already know what entrepreneurial skills are, right? These are the things that you learn, the competencies that you learn, whereas management skills and business knowledge, management skills pertain to the business functions. Do you know what is your fluency and your, how do we say this? Your ability to conduct yourself, and what your proficiency in the management, in the business functions, if I can call it like that, and your knowledge thereof. So yeah, you need to be able to distinguish between what are entrepreneurial skills and how are they different from management skills. And remember, we said with entrepreneurial skills, the entrepreneurial skills, they are more for the beginning of the business, whereas towards when you're just running your business, etc., trying to make sure you make a profit every day, what, that then would be part of, you know, the management skills, and then obviously then related to the knowledge that you have on your business. And that's it for this assignment, guys. That is really it. What I wanted us to do is, I still have lots of time. I've only taken 40 minutes of this day. So what I wanted to do is, I have opened up what do you call these things? These are ICE tasks. Yes, these are ICE tasks. So I don't know how far I'll get, but I've got Learning Unit 5, Learning Unit 6, and Learning Unit 7 ICE tasks that people have completed. So what it will be very interesting. I'm just going to go through them to see exactly what it is that can be improved. And, you know, this would be, you know, you answering, or I'm relating to this to an assignment, if that makes sense. Okay, so the first thing, this person completed their ICE task. It was 3 questions for Learning Unit 5. And the first thing I would do is I would have a cover page. And in fact, you know, in everything that I do, I always like to say view and then see the navigation pane. You can see the navigation pane that there are no headings. Remember, with my document, you can see once I click on the navigation pane, you can see that there's headings that start popping up. And the nice thing about those is that they automatically go there. And another thing that I actually forget is that after you've done this, pre-assignments, and let's say, for instance, this was your cover page. Then the next thing would be for you to insert another page break, and in that assignment or in that page break or in that page, yeah, so let's see, assign cover page, and then here in the second page, we would always insert or go to the review. What is it? References table of contents. For some reason, I like the second table of contents. Again, what's nice about this activating your headings is that then you're able to do an automated table of contents. At this stage, guys, because it's your second assignment, I expect you to know how to do an automated table of contents. So while we are here, in fact, then let's go and make that number 8 inside table of contents. Have an automated table of contents. This is done via heading. What is it? It's not heading font or heading style. Yes, via heading styles. So that's what they called here. If you go to these, yeah, oh, you can even see the word styles here. You can always, you know, update each one accordingly. And what I like to do is, because normally it will be like blue or something. For instance, if I go to question 1 and then I click on question 3, because I haven't done it, it turns it into blue. So I don't really like it. But if it's the easiest way for you to do it and you don't know how to, you know, get fiddled with it, I would rather that you even do that. So don't forget that it's headings and subheadings and subheadings. So maybe let me also make a note of that. What is it? Heading styles. Where's my document? This is done via heading style. Heading 1 equals main heading. Heading 2 equals subheading. And then heading 3 subheading, etc. I don't even know if there's such a word. Subheading. But yeah, you get the point, right? Whether or not this is proper English and technically the correctness, we don't know. Okay. Yeah, what else is there? Where was I? Oh, I was trying to do these things. All right. So I would have that as a cover page, right? So that means by question mark, you would say insert page break, right? So I'm going to go ahead and do all of the questions. Insert page break, and then question 3, insert page break. So then you will see, oh, and then before we even are able to see that, then the first other order of business is I would have this and say heading, right? And in fact, let me do the traditional one without editing it. All you do is just press heading 1 and it will appear here. Okay, so let's go. Question 2, heading 1. Question 3, heading 1. Again, because you've done that, you can click and navigate. Another thing that I would do is to insert the table. So again, after your cover page, page 2, I would say insert page break, and then go back to that page that you've just inserted a page break, because now it's empty, and that's question 2. And then I would say review reference, and then I would say table of contents. And again, the table of contents must be the last thing that you fiddle with. So where's our thing that says table of contents? Table of contents, and let's have this as a bullet point, and bullet point like that. Table of contents must be the last editing that you do. But again, you guys know this by now. I did teach you guys this in the previous question. And then, so where we know that's learning outcome 7 or learning unit 7. Then we've got our table of contents, right? So we are good. And then another thing that I'm seeing is the page numbers. So let's go ahead and insert page numbers. Insert page numbers, bottom of the page. I like mine on the right. I don't know why, but let's go for this one today just because we're trying to look fancy. So whatever it is that you do, it does not matter as long as we can see the page at the bottom. And then another thing that I like to do is in my table of contents, because you know it's a thing that you use a lot, I like to also then say table of contents. The same way I made question 1, 2, and 3 a heading, I would also go and make that a heading. And then you see now it starts popping up. So if I'm there, if I can go to my, if I want to go to my table of contents, all I have to do is just click on it. And then again, once we're done with this document, we'll come back and edit the table of contents again. And then another thing that I see that what's wrong here is that I would say Control All, right? And then I would fix the fonting. So you can see they said if Arial 11, and they've made it align left, and we are actually supposed to justify, as well as the spacing. The spacing for assignments is supposed to be 1.5. So let's go ahead and do that. You will say Control and you press A, and then everything, your whole assignment will be highlighted. And then all you have to do then is say, select the right font. They recommend Arial, and they actually recommend the font of 12. And after that, I would justify everything. And then after justifying the 1.5 spacing. And you see already it starts to even look better now. There's much more, you can breathe. I mean, if you look at what it looked like, everything was too close together. There was really no breathing space for you to read and really see the document properly. But after the head, everything is now nicely spaced out. And yeah, I think that's it, because this person has included paragraphs, which is lovely. And one other mistake that I see is that there is a lack of referencing. Okay, yeah, they do reference Nevenason, but where are your other references? So let's make that another point. Referencing. Referencing to avoid plagiarism. Okay. And then let's see in terms of the quality of the question. And in terms of the quality of the question, maybe let's take the tier method. Did I close it? Which one now? Now I'm opening other things now. What is it? Tier method. Okay, let's try this one. Yes, it's the one. Okay, so let's judge this answer according to the tier method. So I'm going to go right into this document. And then at the end of the question 1, I'm going to then put this here. And then, or let's say leave that there. I want to put this insert in a table, right? Convert text to table 4, perfect. And I'm going to come here and say insert columns to the right. Yes. And then we don't want this to be numbered. And then this is just for the checklist. So I'm just going to move this all the way there. Okay. So the question, and maybe that's what we don't have. Oh, you guys are going to see my private things over here. Nice task, nice activities. Learning unit 6. Let me open everything. Learning unit 5 and learning unit 7. Okay, so we were at. So we're done with these ones. Okay. We're at learning unit 5, right? And the question says, describe the importance or purpose of a business plan. And guys, hint, I'm sure you guys can see that my activities are like, yeah, let me leave it at that. So anyway, they talk about the importance of a business plan. So let's see what our person said here. So what's the role or importance of a business plan? Nevenason stresses the essence of a business plan as a cardinal tool of becoming triumphant in entrepreneurship and intrapreneurship. An African perspective. Okay. So they're just listing the name of the book here. Entrepreneurs use business plans as a tool to help them think creatively. about the business plan. So you see, yeah. Then I would also get, again, I would write there, and maybe let me do this, insert, or let me say track changes, review, track changes, and I would say maybe for everyone, right? Nope, it's not tracking changes. Track changes for everyone. Yes, there we go. So, so then, I would say Nevenhazen. This is where I would put my Hazen, and it's what? 21, 2019, 2019. Okay, it helps entrepreneurs. What helps entrepreneurs? You see, so I would say here, new comment. Yes. So start your sentence professionally, if I can call it that. So the business plan. So I would say the business plan helps entrepreneurs, you see, to make it more professional sounding. The business plan helps entrepreneurs to outline their vision and objectives by giving a clear and structured method for disclosing a company's targets, strategies, and organizations. Writing a business plan also gives rise to competitive or comprehensive market research, etc., etc. So I really like this line. My only problem is, where is your reference? And then as Timmins and Spinelli express. So this is another reference. So here we've got a year missing. Year. Express in new venture creation. You really don't have to say in new creation, because once you have written here Nevenhazen 2019, that's all a person has to know. So you really, and you've also done it here in entrepreneurship and African perspective. I really wouldn't suggest that you do this. So maybe I'm gonna go ahead and do this in red. And then again, in a new venture creation, entrepreneurship, it's really not necessary to name the name of the book, because you are referencing. So by virtue of the reference, we know what you're talking about, or who you are talking about, right? For the first century, a business plan acts as a roadmap or as an argument to persuade others to invest in listing in the firm's finances or finances of the firm. The proposal must make it the proposal must make it plain to possible investors and stakeholders what the worth of the adventure is, competitive advantage, characteristics, and growth potential. An excellent proposal gives clarity for use of resources, blah, blah, blah. So did the person list the what's his names? The theory? I'll give them an okay for that, but not that, you know, it was nothing really to be explained. What not listed, it wasn't really much to be listed, but I will give them the mark again. And then sorry, did the person explain the theory in their own words? Yes, it does sound professional, and in fact it makes me wonder where they got this beautiful wording, because it's so beautifully written. Clearly you must have used a generative AI tool. And there's nothing wrong with that, paraphrase and reference using the AI, generative AI. I have advised, after you have what do you call it, rephrase, after you have paraphrased, then you have to rephrase it in your own words. Again, I've taught you all about that. And then provide an example. From here, from what I read, there are no examples. So the person here, they do not get these marks. And then provide an additional resource in the form of another example. Again, what is missing, the missing element in this question. So if we go to the next question, as per Neven entrepreneurship, and maybe let's check what the question is. List the stakeholders. All right, so stakeholders. As Nevenhazen's entrepreneurship, yeah, you see, remember, like we said here, This is all not necessary. What I would say is as per Nieuwenhuizen, and then you say 2019. That's it. And in fact, let me delete this so that we make it clearer. He identifies the following groups as users or stakeholders in a company plan. Again, make this a colon if you really want to. And then entrepreneurs or founders are primarily users of the business plan. Entrepreneurs rely on it to explain their objectives, operating strategy, and articulate their vision. It serves as a guide during the initial startup phase. So here I see a lot of explanation, right? But I don't really see like where your examples. And then investors and financiers will often require a detailed business plan to analyze the feasibility. That's an explanation. Being able to review a detailed business plan provides them with information. So again, we've got here, give me an example. Who's an investor? Who is a financier? Which part of the business plan would actually be working important for them? And then workers or team members, again, explain who these are. The plan can serve as the business plan. The business plan can serve as a communication tool that allows team members to coordinate. And then after that, we'll give an example of coordination, how, you know. And then suppliers. Yeah, so I think I get the gist, or we actually hope in terms of the tier method. I think that this person for this question, again, they know how to, you know, explain the theory, or let me actually rather copy the table because I've already done it here. So for question 2, you already know, you know, I think it stays the same, that you can maybe list the theory and you can explain it. However, your weakness is really the examples, and this is really where you're going to lose a lot of marks, because you will see when you get to third year, second year, third year, for instance, these become much more, and you will see even with the rubric, the marking is a little bit more. Which reminds me, actually, I didn't check the rubric. So maybe let's go to the rubric of the assignment. Where is the assignment? What did I do with the assignment? Hey, guys, what did I do with the assignments? Let's go to downloads. Hey, let me stop sharing before I expose myself. Stop sharing my screen and then go to my downloads. Sorry about that break in vision. You know, there's nothing like a history or a download to expose you. How was it? What did I do with this assignment? Okay, I'm gonna have to quickly go and, okay, maybe no, it's gonna waste time to try and download it. So let me just go back to my screen. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry about that. You know me trying to be everything all at the same time. Okay, so we actually, so in the assignment, I think basically maybe the point is the rubric, okay? So let's say here 10 rubric. And I always say this line, allow the rubric to dictate, or let's say the rubric and mark a location to dictate the effort that you put into your answers. So if a question is, for instance, you know, a 5-mark question versus a 30-mark question, you're not going to have half a page for a 30-mark question. You're not going to have 1 page for a 30-mark question. I always say, and if you say answer guide, let's call it answer guide. Let's also make it heading 3. Nope, I mean heading 2. Answer guide, I would say every half a page would equals to 5 marks, if that makes sense. So the chances are in 5 sentences, because think about it, right? If this is, what do you call it, a page, and let's look at a page like this way, let's say view, and then say 1 page. If you look at, and this is not even properly written, if we go, let's say, to your assignment, or the, what you call it, the, what's this thing I got open now? View 1 page, this ICE activity, there's a chance that there's about 5 lines. This is about half page. So there's a good chance there's about 5 sentences within which you can get marks. So that's why I'm saying per stipulation, it's roughly about half a page will give you about 5 marks. So 30 pages, guys, at least 3. 20 pages, 2 pages. What, 20 marks, 2 pages, something like that. I hope it's making sense rather than, not. And then, yeah, see, I'm out of time. So let's just do the last question. And then with page breaks, you will see that every time you sometimes insert something, it will create an extra page. All you have to do then is just click on the top of the page and then say delete, and everything will come back. And you just align it there. And then the last thing that we want to do now is this one. Let's create a space here. And then here we want to create, yeah. So with this question number 3, entrepreneurship, yeah, see, Nieuwenhuizen's 2019. See, you don't say that, you say Nieuwenhuizen 2019, right? And then you say emphasizes clarity, consistency, and comprehensiveness while creating a business plan. The strategy should include a brief executive summary, blah, blah, blah. The plan also should then, yeah, you see. So I think what this person is doing is you are really just focusing a lot on the theory. And then here you're saying, in this case, according to Eric Ries, who is one of the most influential modern authors on entrepreneurship, you see Eric Ries again, which year? Because that's the reference. The guidelines for a business plan writing have to be reshaped in order to reflect the importance of agility, iteration, and customer centricity. Thus, in his book, The Lean Startup, yeah, you see, you don't have to go all of this because you've already said Eric Ries, which year. Thus, you can say, thus the author formulates the concept of the minimum variable product. Yeah, and I think, yeah, let me leave it rather there. Again, this person very strong with theory and explaining it, right? However, your examples, you lack your examples, and there's no evidence of additional reading other than, yeah, what you did. So yeah, man, that's all I've got. That's all I got for today. Question 3, we also didn't say home, heading 2, right? Or heading 1. There we go. Table of contents. Let's go fixed again. And let's say update entire table, because remember the last thing that you're supposed to do is you update your table of contents. And let's see if anything changes. It says 3, 4, 5 here. And let's see, look at there now. 2, 3, 4, 5. Very interesting. So this eats life. It's life. All right, guys, that's all for today. That's all I've got for this national support session. I think I'm going to go ahead and do a recording for learning out Unit 6 as well as learning Unit 7, just so that you guys can see what these people did right and what they did wrong, and that will also help you to prepare for your assignment. So thank you so much for joining me. Actually, I'm alone in this room, but yeah, you're gonna watch the recording. So thank you very much for watching the recording, and all the best with your assignment. That is all from me today. Arrivederci. Good night.